Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maida and you're watching Maida Pours. Thank you so much for joining me today. If it's your first time here, you are very welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, well, welcome back, friend. It's so good to see you again. So you are joining me for another coast to coast pouring collab. And this was a challenge week. And what a challenge it was. Christine Jezik came up with this week's challenge and it was to use 3 shades of your least favorite color. And if you know me at all, you know me and red don't get along. So it was the obvious choice. I had to use red. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be real, I wasn't really looking forward to doing this painting. I was so scared. I thought for sure I was not gonna be able to come up with anything that I was like proud to present to you guys. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be rough. But I am always happy when I am wrong about something like that. I decided that I was going to bring back one of my favorite techniques that I haven't done in a really long time, because I figured, you know, least favorite colors, but with one of my favorite techniques, like it shouldn't be so bad, right? Well, not only was it not so bad, I fell in love with this piece. Like, I love it. I am really excited to share it with you. And what technique, you might ask? Well, you probably saw on the old title card, but but it is a ribbon pearl pour. So it's a very minimalistic monochromatic piece using 3 shades of red. And yeah, I love it. But before I bring you down and go over this piece and share my creation video with you, I want to remind you to please check out the description and check out the other awesome artists in this collaboration. We've got Christine Jezik, who came up with this challenge this week, followed by yours truly. And then we've got Garrick Brown Art Studios. I believe Tara Lombardi is sharing a video this week. If not, I still have a link to her channel in my description and you should definitely check her out. And Britta Clayton is rounding out today's collaboration. All incredible artists. Everyone, you should go check out their videos, subscribe to them, and definitely see what they have to offer in this world of acrylic pouring we all enjoy so much. And on that note, I am going to bring you down. We're going to go over the palette and we are going to get to pouring. So let's go. Okay, so let's go over the palette, which is, well, the palette is red because the challenge was to use colors, your least favorite color, or I believe it was 3 shades of your least favorite color. So what I have here, I have the Liquitex Basics in Naphthol? Yeah, probably mispronouncing that. Naphthol Crimson. I have the Artist Loft in Vermilion, which I know this is a very orangey red, but my other least favorite color is orange, so I decided, yeah, it counts. And then here I have the Artist Loft in Metallic Red. So I mixed these up here using my normal pearl pour technique here, and they're all very thin paints, as you need with I almost feel like I should thin this one down just a little bit more, as you need with the pearl pour technique. Now I also do have some iridescent gold fine mixed up here because it just wouldn't be a Maida Pours pour without iridescent gold fine. I don't plan on using this in the first stage of the pour. I plan on adding it as an accent at the end. And then of course I have my pearl pour mixture here, which is very thin, no trace, no mound. And if you're interested in learning how I mix up my pearl base, it is the soft body and the Deco Art Satin Enamel, and I have it's a 2-parter that goes into great detail of this recipe and how I mix it and all of that, and I will put those links in the description. I know they've helped others with success at this kind of pour. So that is the palette, and we are going to get to purling. Let's go. Okay, so I have my 2 canvases here. Now one is completely fresh and the other one is not, but they are the same size, and I didn't have a fresh one of this. It's fine to reuse a canvas about 1 time. If I reuse it more than once, that's where it starts getting a little wonky. I did take the time to go ahead and paint these edges just because they were so bright and colorful, and this is gonna be a white base. and I didn't want the sides to show through. I always lay down, when I do these kinds of, now I'm calling this a pearl ribbon pour, that's just because of how I plan to layer the paint. I don't like to completely flood the canvas. What I like to do is I like to lay a nice, good base coat down first on both. We're gonna do, it's a 2-for-1 here, so we're gonna do both canvases. I have a little bit left in there, which will be good if I need it, but I don't think I will. And then I stretch it out pretty well, and I like to get it down I like to get 2 of the edges kind of, I call it grounded, I guess. So it went over that side a little bit. I'm gonna let it pour over this side. We do obviously stretch it out all the way across the canvas eventually. And this does keep the paint kind of thick, and it causes sort of a shadowing technique. Like some of my colored paint does sink in, but I like that effect, so that's intentional. You would probably get less of that if you did immediately stretch them out. So I'm going to start with, what am I gonna start with? I'm gonna start with a naphthol. Gosh, I can't pronounce it for the life of me, guys. I'm gonna start with the crimson. And now, I'm just stretching it out. Again, I'm stretching it, but I'm not flooding it quite yet, because I like to get some of the stretch after I pour my ribbons. So I'm going to just sort of have fun with it. Just doing some swirly swirls. And I'm gonna use up my paint because I, again, don't plan on painting and don't really feel like having a bunch of leftovers lying around. I already have a bunch of leftovers lying around, so I don't need more. Plus, you know, red ain't my favorite, so. And I'm gonna come in with the vermilion. Oh wait, I wanted to thin this down just a little smidgen. There we go, okay. And I'm gonna do the same ribbony technique with the vermilion. Again, I'm just kind of going with swirls. Oh, I almost forgot I had a second canvas. Okay, this canvas is gonna have less vermilion than that one, but c'est la vie. How could I forget? I don't know, I just did. Don't judge me, guys. Okay. And then last but not least, I'm gonna come in with the metallic red. Now, I don't expect the metallic red to pearl quite as much as these other colors because, well, it's metallic and metallics pearl less, generally speaking. It's just fun to swoop-de-swoop paint on a canvas, I gotta say, guys. All right, those are pretty, actually. I like that. Okay, now we're gonna stretch it out. You are gonna lose some of the paint. That is part of the process. Make it a mess. It's been a while since I've made such a satisfying mess. Covered. Back in, covering up my corners. Again, I painted these white, so I wouldn't have to worry too much about the corners, but you know, I do like to make sure they're covered. There is my first canvas. And now we are on to the second one. I go ahead and tilt it in this direction. I'm not trying to get it all over my other canvas. And pulling it down. Oop, it's starting to pearl up over on that side. I see them. And last corner. I do tend to kind of scoop what's on the puppy pads to just help it slide. Go, last corner covered. Ooh, and you know what? They flow together so nicely. I was a little worried about it, but that looks good. Right now I'm just sort of running my fingers along the bottom. Okay guys, I'm, you know, never into my red and my oranges, but this is really pretty, okay. And the pearls are coming up. Yay, I haven't forgotten how to mix my pearl paint. It's been so long, you guys, that I was like, ooh, do I even remember how to do it? So I would say that torching is an important component, at least for me, because the torch helps open up the pearls. You might be able to see. Now remember, the metallics are gonna pearl less than the non-metallics. So it's hard to tell, it's all 3 shades of red, right? So it's kind of hard to tell. But this in here is the metallic red. You can see it, it's a little bit shimmier. Is that a word? It is now. And while we are getting some pearls, I do expect it to pearl less. We'll see if I'm correct in those assumptions. So I always like to encourage pearls by kind of, not big tilts, like little mini baby tilts, to just kind of get that, just help them open up. You can see them start to grow and open there. It's been a long time. So now pearls take time to develop. And again, I do the tilting to encourage. But again, I feel like I'm gonna have some pockets in here that don't pearl so much, like this metallic area, and here is metallic, and down here is metallic, is not gonna pearl as much as in the vermilion and the crimson. We're just gonna say crimson. We're gonna stop trying to pronounce that first part. I know that you're gonna be seeing a sped up version of this, but I'm enjoying watching the real-time version of these pearls pop up. Oh, it's been so long since I've done a pearl pour, guys. They're so fun. I forgot how fun they are. So the pearls are still developing, and I'm gonna come in with my gold accents, and I'm just going to, what I like to do with this, and this is, you know, of course, up to you, but I'm just gonna kind of follow a line along the lines I already have and just add in some like some gold. But part of the equation in a pearl pour is time, so I'm gonna walk away. This is gonna be very, very sped up, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna see it fully developed.
Here it is, just about completely developed. I do come in, I didn't do it on camera, but you'll see it in the dried results, which will come up right after this. I did come in and add a little bit more gold, but as far as the pearls go, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna come in here for a close-up while it's still wet. Now, I might have, these might be a little overblown, but I do like that shadowed 3D effect. Remember, I haven't mixed up my pearl paint in a while time. Like up there, I feel like they came apart a little bit. So might have added a little too much water to my pearls, but as they dry, I'm actually really pleased with it. It gives a really neat 3-dimensional effect, but it is important to note that if you add too much water to your pearls, they will start to break apart. And I feel like some of these, especially in certain areas of this piece, it did start to happen. But again, like I said, once it's fully dry, I actually really like how it looks. So it's all just a matter of taste. And let's get to those dried results. Here they are.
Okay, and here are the dried results. And after a lot of flipping around of these canvases, I think this is my favorite orientation, but it is really hard to say. And I keep switching them up so much, and then I think I end up like in the same spot except upside down. So I think this is it. I think this is my favorite. So I'm going to bring you in for a close-up and show you these dried results. I really love how this one dried. I did come in after the cameras were turned off and do a little bit of extra canoodling, so to speak, especially with the gold accents, but it's pretty much as you just saw it wet. And yeah, here you go. A ribbon pearl pour, minimalistic, with 3 shades of red, and I love it. I would love to hear what you think in the comments. Be sure to hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this video, and consider subscribing if you enjoy watching acrylic paint pouring videos, because that's what I do here. Don't forget to check out all the other amazing artists in my description. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.